Caoimhin, it's nice. We've got your manager next year because he's putting time tabs on me already.
Nah, listen, Paul has me sorted. Sometimes I get mobbed and I'm too nice to kind of turn things down, but that's his job, isn't it? It's a tough one to call, you know. I don't keep changing my mind, but I keep changing the way the fight's going to plan out, and I do believe that Joshua BUATSI will win the fight. I do think that this will be his kind of coming out fight in terms of everyone will stand up and take notice and be like, right, Joshua is who he says he is. And Richards, he believes he's world level. He gave Bivol a very, very tough fight, and you've seen what Bivol did to Canelo. So it shows what level Craig Richards is at. I think he's a very average performance. I'm always hard on myself and maybe a bit too critical, but I believe in myself and know how good I am, and I expect a lot from myself. And that last performance was very average. But I mean, I know that Tony Bellew and Frotch were very critical of me, and that's probably because I didn't get the stoppage.
And finally, before we go, I just want to talk about your taste in hip-hop, which was broadcast on Twitter. Your numbers are your numbers, but I really want to... what concerns me the most, as somebody that listens to hip-hop, did not know who Nas was. I even commented on it. What's going on there?
Do you know what it is?
Ego is the enemy, that I quite often say. Try and sit on it as much as possible. But anyway, October Red Boxing. I'm here with the lovely Caoimhin Agyarko. Caoimhin, it's nice. We've got your manager next year because he's putting time tabs on me already.
Nah, listen, Paul has me sorted. Sometimes I get mobbed and I'm too nice to kind of turn things down, but that's his job, isn't it?
I get it. We all need some kind of guard dog, don't we? He's there smiling for once.
Yeah, Paul's always smiling. He's always got a smile on his face.
Anyway, we are here at the presser for Joshua BUATSI versus Craig Richards. Obviously, Matchroom card. A nice stacked card. What's your take on it with the main guys, the main fight?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting. It's a tough one to call, you know. I don't keep changing my mind, but I keep changing the way the fight's going to plan out, and I do believe that Joshua BUATSI will win the fight. I do think that this will be his kind of coming out fight in terms of everyone will stand up and take notice and be like, right, Joshua is who he says he is, and this is the reason there's hype behind his name. But Craig Richards is a very, very good fighter, very awkward fighter, and someone that's fought at world level. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight, and I look forward to it.
Do you get that, like, with both fighters? Because I'm hearing mixed reviews on this. Craig is there standing there saying, look, nobody's not taking me seriously. People are starting to look at me now, obviously with the Bivol Canelo fight. And then Joshua BUATSI, you know, decorated amateur, Olympic pedigree. He also feels like he's got something to prove. As a fighter then, you sit there and you watch that. How does that feel? Like you're constantly having to say, look, I am what I say I am. I am what I do in the ring.
Well, I think until you're a proven world champion, you've always got something to prove, and both of them have a lot to prove. Joshua BUATSI has to prove that the hype that come off the Olympics, that it's real, and with Richards, he believes he's world level. He gave Bivol a very, very tough fight, and you've seen what Bivol did to Canelo. So it shows what level Craig Richards is at. I think he's proven himself. He's past domestic level. He's past kind of maybe European level, and now he's under that world stage. And I believe that this is a world level fight. This isn't a domestic level fight. So both of them have proven that they're not domestic fighters, and it's going to be an interesting fight.
We talk about that, and it is a domestic, but it's almost like they are fighting for a world championship belt. We love the domestics over here. We like the internal fights. What is it? I mean, I'm going to make the assumption that you're a boxing fan as well. What is it about the domestics?
It's just that the domestic scene, it's so competitive. There's a lot of talented fighters. It's not like there's just one or two. Even at the light heavyweight, you got Callum Johnson, Callum Smith, you got Anthony Yard, you got these two. Do you know what I mean? It's a very competitive weight class, and in the domestic scene, there's a lot of very good fighters at each weight. So it's just always very interesting, and everyone wants to see the domestic fighters face off against each other and see who's the best in their country.
And we talk about that, and you're somebody that travels to and fro from Ireland. Do you see England as being sort of like a main capital for boxing? Because you're looking from the outside in, you travel in, you go different places, you're not continuously based in England. Do you see it as becoming a bit of a hub, like a little bit of a mecca for boxing?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, British boxing's booming at the moment. It's got some great coaches. It's got great talent coming through in terms of fighters. You know what I mean? So it's definitely one of the biggest boxing capitals in the world. You know what I mean? I think there's not many world champions right now, but there was a stage where there was a lot of world champions coming through the British ranks, and there's a lot. That's because there's a lot of talented fighters.
And we talk about talented fighters. We're going to move on to you before we touch on the rest of the card. Your performance, talk to us about that, your win. You know, it was a good fight. I was there live watching it. What was your reflection on that? Because I didn't get to catch you afterwards.
A very average performance. I'm always hard on myself and maybe a bit too critical, but I believe in myself and know how good I am, and I expect a lot from myself. And that last performance was very average. But I mean, I keep saying it was average and it wasn't the best performance. But in 10 rounds, I probably got hit less than 10 times. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I know that Tony Bellew and Frotch were very critical of me, and that's probably because I didn't get the stoppage. But at the same time, I'm not taking punishment. There's a lot of fighters that have wars and have average performances. Do you know what I mean? I'm not taking any damage. In my last 2 fights, I've went 10 and 9, and in 19 rounds, I probably haven't took more than 15 shots. Do you know what I mean? So yes, it was an average performance, but I must be doing something right.
And we talk about that when you say average performance. What was it then that was average? And the only reason why I'm going to reflect on this, you were referred to as the Irish Canelo. There is a direction that I'm going with this. Canelo is a good boxer and he's a powerful puncher, but sometimes you can rely on one attribute. In boxing, we know you can't do that. So back to you for that reflection. What was it that you would say was average about that performance?
What was average? I was looking for that one shot.
Yeah.
I was looking for that one shot. I was trying to counterpunch the counterpuncher. I should have just stuck it on him. And listen, it's probably a good thing, because I've been back to camp 2-3 weeks now, and the thing that I've been practicing in camp is not loading up my shots and throwing 5s and 6s, going forward, being more aggressive. I'm an unbelievable technical boxer. I like to box on the back foot, and I haven't shown that. And I tried to show that in that last fight, but it wasn't the right fight to do that. I had a tough southpaw, 18 or 19 and 1, that was coming in to counterpunch me, and I tried to counterpunch him, so it made it a very cagey fight. But yeah, it was one of them fights where I feel like I just loaded up too much. I was looking for that one shot, wanted to hurt him with every shot instead of setting things up, tip, bang. And that's what I've been working on in camp.
I really like that analogy, because I totally do agree with you. And sometimes we can get caught up on what people say that we're good at. Even me standing here with this, people will give me compliments. And sometimes you have to, literally, sometimes you still have to learn when you're winning. It's not just about getting that win, it's about continuously learning.
Well, the thing is, people forget that I'm only 11 and 0. Do you know what I mean? And I haven't fought any real out-and-out journeyman. I think out of 11 fights, I've fought 3 journeymen. Everyone else has had a winning record. Do you know what I mean? 19 and 1 and 14 and 0. Do you know what I'm saying? Jez Smith, who was 11 and 1. So people need to kind of relax a bit and realise I'm still learning my trade. As much as I had a good amateur background, and as much as Eddie calls me the next Canelo Alvarez, which I keep telling him not to, because I'm Caoimhin Agyarko, and there's only one Caoimhin Agyarko. I'm not trying to be anyone else. I'm trying to be the best version of me. It's a great compliment, obviously, but it comes with that bit of added pressure and expectation, which I don't focus on, because that means nothing to me. I go out there and just ultimately get the win. But people just got to remember that I am still young, 25 years old, 11 and 0. I've still got a lot to learn. I'm still progressing, improving, and I'm ready for the step-ups. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm this guy, that guy, blah, blah, blah. I know that I need to prove myself, and I will prove myself whenever the time is right.
That is a positive attitude, because it goes that you're not resting on your laurels, you're not resting on the fact of the wins. You are saying, okay, look, I'm 11 fights in, amateur career or not, 11 fights in. I don't take journeyman. I will take what's put in front of me. I don't want to be compared to the great. I want to be Caoimhin Agyarko. Let me be me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, I've got a great team around me with Eddie, Paul Reddy and STN, and Al Smith, Eddie Lamb back in the gym, and they'll put the right opponents in front of me, and it's my job to go and knock them down and beat them, and I'm just trying to be the best version of me.
When are you back out? That's always going to be a question, because I do like watching your fights. I always have, because you are a counter-puncher, because you do throw those hard shots. And yes, you have got that boxing brain. That's something that I noticed before you came to Matchroom. So when can your fans, you know, the viewers, expect to see you back out again?
I should have news hopefully next week confirmed, but it will be July time hopefully. Nothing's confirmed just yet. We're working on a date, so I'm in camp, keep myself ready, and as soon as that's confirmed, I'll be ready to fight.
And on this card then, except for the headline, what fight out of all of them are you looking forward to seeing the most? What do you think will be an exciting fight on the card? Fair enough, there may be more than one, but what's second place to the first, to the headline?
I think Robbie Davis Jr. will be in a good fight. I'm looking forward to seeing Ellie Scotney. I'm a fan of Ellie and I think she's a very good fighter. Chantel Cameron's never in a dull fight, so I'm sure that'll be a war. I think there's a couple good fights on this card. Alec Bavik, he's just mental, so he's always an exciting fight. So there is a couple good fights, and I'm looking forward. I'll be there Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it.
And finally, before we go, I just want to talk about your taste in hip hop, which was broadcast on Twitter. Your numbers are your numbers, but I really want to. What concerns me the most, as somebody that listens to hip hop, did not know who Nas was. I even commented on it. What's going on there?
Do you know what it is? I just grew up on Eminem and Biggie were kind of two people that I listened to every day growing up, and I always remember people talking about Nas, and I never really listened to him, never given him the chance, because I was maybe a bit delusional that these two are the best, and Tupac, so I never give him his chance, and I have now, so he definitely makes the top 10, top 5, top 6, definitely. He's an unbelievable artist. I didn't realise how good he was, and I was kind of humbled and educated when I put that tweet up, and it caused mayhem. There's like literally still today, people still going writing on it, and it's the worst thing I ever did. But it's good to see everyone's opinions, and listen, it's a good thing because like I said, I was educated.
It gets you in the mix. Listen, Caoimhin, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. I cannot believe the interview didn't get interrupted and stopped. It's a miracle. Hallelujah. Until the next time, and thank you very much for being a welcome back guest.
Thank you very much, anytime.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.